Chapter 1. The Beautiful Bride. My name is Ethan Carter. I am 32. People think I am lucky. I have money, I have a big business. People respect me. They think my life is easy. But my heart was empty. I wanted love. I wanted a wife who could stay with me. I wanted someone who could stand by me in good and bad days. I did not need her to love my money. I only wanted her to love me. One day I saw Lydia. She was 27. She was beautiful and quiet. Her face was soft. Her smile was small. Her eyes were deep. I looked at her and I thought, this is the woman who can change my life. This is the woman I want to marry. I felt hope for the first time in many years. I spoke to her parents. They liked me. They said, Ethan, you are a good man. You can give our daughter a safe home. You can protect her. You can give her a good life. They were happy with me. They wanted this marriage. Lydia stayed silent. She did not say yes. She did not say no. I thought her silence meant she agreed. I thought she trusted me. The day of the wedding came. There were lights. There were guests. People clapped. They called us a perfect pair. They looked at me with respect. They looked at Lydia with admiration. They said, "What a lucky woman. What a lucky man." I smiled and believed them. I looked at Lydia and I told myself, my new life begins today. But when I looked into her eyes, I saw something that made me pause. Her eyes were sad. There was beauty, but there was also pain. I told myself, she is nervous. Every bride is nervous. I ignored the feeling in my chest. After the wedding, I wanted to give her happiness. I bought her gifts. I spoke to her with care. I told her, Lydia, you are my world. I will give you everything I have. She smiled. But her smile was thin. It was not the smile of a woman who felt safe in love. It was the smile of a woman who was hiding something. At night, she was quiet. She looked away. She turned to the side of the bed and closed her eyes quickly. I asked once, "Are you happy with me?" She said, "Yes, Ethan, I am fine." But her eyes did not match her words. Her eyes carried a secret. The days passed. I saw small signs. She kept her phone close. She typed messages and hid the screen. She walked away when she answered a call. Sometimes I heard her whisper in the next room. Sometimes I saw her wipe her tears quickly when she thought I was not looking. I told myself not to doubt her. I said in my heart, trust her. Give her time. Maybe she only feels shy. Maybe she only needs space. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to believe we were building love. But the truth knocked at my door soon. One evening I came home early. Lydia was sitting alone with her phone. Her voice was soft, almost breaking. I heard her say, "I miss you too." My body froze. I stood quietly for a moment. She did not see me. Then she looked up, and our eyes met. She ended the call at once. She wiped her face and said, "It was just a friend." I smiled. I nodded. But inside, my heart broke into pieces. That night I sat beside her and said, "Lydia, if something is in your heart, tell me. I will listen. I will not judge you. I only ask for honesty." She shook her head. She said, "No, Ethan, there is nothing." Her voice was steady, but her hands were shaking. She could not look me in the eye. I could not sleep. I looked at her while she rested. She looked peaceful, but I knew peace was not real. I thought, she is lying next to me, but her soul is not with me. Her body is here, but her heart is far away. The next week, I tried harder. I planned dinners. I brought her flowers. I told her stories about my childhood. I spoke about my dreams. I wanted her to feel safe. I wanted her to open her heart. But the wall between us stayed strong. She answered me with short words. She looked into the distance when I spoke. One day I asked her again, "Are you truly happy with me? Do you want this marriage?" She smiled in a tired way and said, "Ethan, please don't ask me these things." That answer hurt me more than any truth. Silence can be louder than words. I went to the mirror that night. I looked at my face. I told myself, "You are rich. You are respected. But you cannot buy love. You cannot buy her heart." My reflection looked back at me like a stranger. Days turned into weeks. People around us thought we were happy. They said, "Look at them. Such a blessed couple." I smiled in front of them. But inside I was falling apart. Only I knew that my wife's smile was not mine. Her silence was heavy. Her secrets were alive. I did not know what the secrets were, but I felt them. I felt them in her eyes. I felt them in her silence. I felt them every time she walked away from me. I still hoped. I still believed that love could grow. I told myself, "Don't give up. One day she will tell you. One day she will see your love. One day she will choose you." But in the corner of my heart, a fear lived. A fear that my wife was already lost to me. A fear that one day I would know the truth, and that truth would destroy me. This was the beginning of my story. A story not of joy, but of questions. A story where every smile could be a lie. A story where every silence could hide pain. This was the start of my life with a wife whose dark secrets waited in the shadows. Like subscribe and share. Click the hype button to hype the video. Give super thanks to support us. Chapter 2. Shadows of the Past. The days of my new marriage passed, but my heart grew heavier. Lydia was with me in name, but not in spirit. She lived in the same house, but I felt she was far away. Her smile looked polite, not real. Her voice sounded soft, but not warm. I kept telling myself that time would heal, but deep inside, I knew something was not right. Every night she held her phone close. She would wait until I was in bed. Then she walked into another room and spoke in whispers. I tried not to listen. I tried to respect her privacy, but I could not stop hearing the words that broke me. One night I heard her say, "I cannot forget you. I still love you." My hands went cold. My body froze. She returned to bed like nothing had happened. She lay down beside me, but my heart had already shattered. I did not fight with her. I could not. Instead, I asked the next morning, "Lydia, Who do you talk to so late? She looked into my eyes for a moment and said, "It is nothing, Ethan. Please don't ask." That answer cut deeper than a knife. I wanted to believe her, but her silence was too heavy. I tried again. "Lydia, I am your husband. You can tell me anything. If there is someone in your past, I can understand. Just don't hide it from me." She shook her head and said, "Ethan, please stop. I don't want to talk about this." She turned away from me. I sat there, staring at her back, feeling smaller than I had ever felt before. The next week was worse. She began to leave home often. She said she was meeting friends. She said she was going shopping. But every time she returned, her eyes looked red as if she had been crying. I asked gently, "Did something upset you?" She only said, "No, I am fine." I knew it was a lie. One evening, I decided to follow her quietly. I never thought I would do something like this, but I needed truth. I saw her meet a man. She looked at him in a way she never looked at me. Her face had a light that was missing at home. My heart sank. I could not hear their words, but I could see the bond. She touched his hand. He smiled. And in that moment, I knew this was the man from her past. I walked away before they could see me. My chest burned. My eyes filled with tears. I went home alone, sat in the dark, and whispered, "Why did you marry me if your heart was with him?" I could not breathe. I could not think. I felt like a stranger in my own life. When she returned that night, she acted normal. She asked me, "Did you eat?" I nodded, but I did not speak. She sat near me, but my silence scared her. She asked softly, "Ethan, why are you so quiet?" I looked at her and said, "Because I feel like my wife belongs to someone else." Her face turned pale. She said quickly, "No, that is not true." But her shaking hands told me everything. That night I cried when she could not see. I pressed my hands to my face and whispered, "God, give me strength. I love her, but she is breaking me." The next morning I asked again with pain in my voice, "Lydia, do you love me?" She looked down and said nothing. I asked again, "Do you even want this marriage?" She closed her eyes and whispered, "I don't know." That answer destroyed me. I walked out of the room. I felt like my world was falling. I remembered the promises I had made to myself. To love her, to protect her, to never let her feel alone. But she had left me alone, even while sitting next to me. Days later, I learned more of the truth. She had been with this man, David, for almost 5 years before me. He was her first love. He was poor, but she gave him her whole heart. She never told me this before marriage. Her parents knew but hid it. She walked into this marriage with secrets, and those secrets were now destroying me. I sat with her one evening and said, "Lydia, I would have accepted your truth. I would have understood if you told me before our wedding. But why did you hide it? Why did you let me dream when your heart was not mine?" She cried, but gave no answer. Her silence was the only reply. I looked at her and said softly, "You are my wife. I will not stop loving you, but I cannot live with lies. Please don't kill me with your secrets." She turned her face away and whispered, "I can't let him go." Those words hit me like fire. I felt my chest tighten. I stood there, holding my breath, feeling as if the ground had opened under my feet. My life, my dreams, my love, it all felt like a cruel joke. This was the shadow that entered my marriage. This was the past that refused to die. I thought I had a wife, but what I had was a woman whose heart still lived with another man. And this was only the beginning. Like, subscribe and share. Click the hype button to hype the video. Give super thanks to support us. Chapter 3. The Hidden Truth. The weight in my chest grew heavier each day. I tried to act normal, but my heart was full of pain. Lydia was in my house, but she was not in my life. She was with me at the table, but her mind was far away. Every word from her felt empty. I knew there was more I had not heard yet. I knew her secrets were deeper than she admitted. One evening I asked her directly, "Lydia, how long have you known David?" Her face went pale. She tried to turn away, but I did not stop. She said in a low voice, "For many years." My chest hurt, but I asked again, "Did you love him?" She closed her eyes and said softly, "Yes." I wanted to scream, but I stayed silent. I asked once more, "Why did you marry me if you loved him?" She looked down and said, "Because my parents told me to. They said you could give me a safe future." I could not believe what I heard. My heart broke into pieces. I had dreamed of a wife who wanted me, not a wife who was forced into my arms. That night, I could not sleep. I walked in circles in my room. I thought, she gave her love to him for years. She gave her words to him. She gave her trust to him. And I got only her silence. My tears fell, but she never saw them. The next day, I found another truth. She left her phone on the table for a moment. A message appeared. It was from David. It said, "Don't give up. Keep fighting. He will let you go one day." My hands shook as I read it. He was pushing her to break our marriage. He was not only part of her past, he was trying to destroy her present. When she came back, I held the phone and asked, "Why does he write to you like this? Why do you let him?" She pulled the phone from my hand and shouted, "You have no right!" I stood there in shock. I whispered, "I am your husband. I gave you everything, and you tell me I have no right?" My voice cracked, but she did not answer. She just walked away. That night, I sat alone. I held my head in my hands and whispered to myself, I am not fighting only for my wife. I am fighting against a man who wants to destroy me. The pain was too heavy, but I could not give up. The next week, more secrets came out. I learned from an old friend of hers that she had once planned to run away with David. She wanted to leave her parents. She wanted to leave everything for him. But he never came that day. He left her waiting in tears. Still, she gave him her heart again. Still, she trusted him. When I asked her, she admitted it. She cried and said, "I was blind. I thought he loved me." I asked, "Do you still believe him now?" She whispered, "I don't know." Those words burned me more than fire. I looked at her and said, "Lydia, I can accept your past, but I cannot accept your lies. I cannot accept that you still let him touch your heart. If he loved you, he would have married you. He would not hide in the dark. He would not push you to break your marriage." My voice was strong, but my heart was weak. She cried harder and said, "You don't understand." "My feelings are confused," I answered. "No, Lydia. I understand very well. You are torn between a man who plays with you and a man who gave you everything. You are lost, and I am the one paying the price." Her tears fell, but I could not comfort her. I was the one who needed comfort. I was the one who needed truth. That night, I slept on the edge of the bed. I felt like a guest in my own marriage. The next morning, I stood in front of her and spoke clearly. "Lydia, this cannot go on. If you want to be with him, say it. If you want to stay with me, then cut him out of your life. You cannot keep both. You cannot hold two hearts. You must choose." She looked at me in shock. She whispered, "I need time." I shook my head and said, "No, Lydia. You have already had time. Every day you hide from me is another day you kill me inside." Her silence filled the room again. I walked away, feeling like my life was falling apart. I asked myself, how long can I carry this pain? How long can I fight for someone who does not fight for me? But deep inside, I still loved her. That was my curse. Even with all her secrets, even with all her lies, I could not stop loving her. My heart refused to let go. I told myself, maybe one day she will see. Maybe one day she will open her eyes and know who truly loves her. This was the truth of my life. My wife was hiding in the shadows of her past, and those shadows were slowly killing me. Like, subscribe, and share. Click the hype button to hype the video. Give super thanks to support us. Chapter 4. Love and Lies. The silence between us grew heavy. Lydia was still my wife, but her eyes told me she was somewhere else. I knew David was the reason. I wanted to believe she would see the truth, but her heart still followed him. One evening she dressed quietly and said, "I need to go out for some time." I asked, "Where?" She answered, "To meet a friend." My chest tightened. I knew who that friend was. I did not stop her. I only said, "Be careful." She left, and I felt like my soul left with her. Hours passed. My mind would not rest. I wanted to know what she was doing. I wanted to know what he was saying to her. I went after her. I stayed far so she could not see me. And then I saw them together. David was smiling. Lydia was crying. He touched her hand. He whispered words I could not hear, but I could see their effect. She looked weak in front of him. She looked like a woman trapped in the past. My heart broke, but I kept watching. I wanted to know the truth. Then I heard part of their talk. Lydia said softly, "I cannot leave him easily." "He is my husband," David laughed. He said, "You married him only because of money. You never loved him." Don't forget that she shook her head and said, "But he is kind to me. He gives me everything." David's face turned cold. He said, "That means nothing. You belong to me." I felt my body shake. I wanted to walk up to him. I wanted to say, if you truly loved her, you would not ask her to betray her marriage. But I stayed hidden. I wanted her to see him clearly. I wanted her to see his true face. When she came home, I did not fight. I only asked, "Did you meet him?" She froze. Her lips trembled. Then she said, "Yes." My eyes filled with tears. I said, "Lydia, I gave you honesty. Why do you give me lies?" She cried and whispered, "I don't know what to do." I touched her hand gently and said, "You are breaking me. You think he is love, but real love does not ask you to destroy someone else. Real love does not hide in the dark. Real love does not make you lie every day." She pulled her hand away and turned her face. The next day, she left again. This time I followed her from the start. I heard more of their words. Lydia asked, "Will you marry me if I leave him?" David smiled but did not answer directly. He said, "We will see. First, you must break this marriage." My heart sank. He was not giving her a future. He was giving her only pain. Later that night, I sat alone with Lydia. I said, "I heard him. He does not promise you anything. He only pushes you to leave me. Why do you still trust him?" She covered her face with her hands and cried, "Because I am blind, Ethan. I don't know how to let him go." I felt fire in my chest. I said, "You think I am your enemy, but I am the only one who stands for you. He wants to use you. I want to love you. Can't you see the difference?" She cried harder. She whispered, "I am confused. My mind says one thing, my heart says another." I looked at her and said, "No, Lydia. Your heart is not confused. Your heart is broken. You think he can heal it, but he is the one who broke it before. And now he is breaking it again." Her tears fell like rain, but she said nothing. I left her alone in the room. My own eyes were wet, but I had no strength to fight. That night I prayed in silence. I said, "God, show her the truth. Show her that love is not in lies, but in loyalty. Show her that I am not her cage. I am the one who is ready to give her freedom, if only she asks." The next morning she came to me. Her eyes were red. She said softly, "Ethan, I met him again. He told me to break this marriage. He told me I am wasting my life with you." My throat felt dry, but I asked, "And what do you think?" She looked down and whispered, "I don't know yet." I stood still. My voice cracked as I said, "Then hear me clearly. If he truly loved you, he would fight for you. He would respect your marriage. He would give you peace. But he only wants to take from you. And when you are empty, he will leave again." Her body shook as she listened. She wiped her tears and said, "Why are you still kind to me after all this?" I looked at her and answered, because love is not weakness. Love is strength. And even if you break me, my love will never be like his lies. She could not reply. She walked away, leaving me in silence. But that silence spoke more than words. For the first time, I felt she was beginning to see the truth. Like subscribe and share. Click the hype button to hype the video. Give super thanks to support us. Chapter 5, The Broken Heart. I tried to stay strong, but my body was weak. My mind was full of pain. My heart carried a weight that words cannot explain. Lydia was near me, but she was not mine. I gave her love, but she gave me silence. I gave her trust, but she gave me secrets. I kept telling myself to be patient, but patience became poison. Each day her face showed more distance. Each day I felt more alone. At times I looked at her and whispered, "Do you even see me?" She looked away and said nothing. That silence was killing me. One night she left again. She said, "I am going to meet a friend." I knew what that meant. She went to him. My chest burned. I could not stop her. I only said, "Go if you must, but remember I am waiting." She looked at me for a second, then walked away. Hours passed. I sat alone in the dark. My heart pounded hard. My head felt heavy. I told myself, she is with him now, and I am nothing but a shadow in her life. The thought tore me apart. When she came back, I asked softly, "Did you meet him?" She froze. She nodded without words. My lips trembled. I asked again, "Did he promise you anything?" She shook her head. She whispered, "No. He said I must break this marriage first." I closed my eyes. I felt fire in my chest. I said, "So he gives you no future. He gives you no respect. Still you follow him. Still you risk everything for him." "Lydia, why?" Her tears fell. She cried, "Because I don't know how to let go." That night my body gave up. My chest hurt. My breath was weak. I fell to the floor. I remember her scream, "Ethan!" I remember her hands on me. Then I remember nothing. When I opened my eyes, I was in a hospital bed. Machines beeped around me. My body was tired, but my mind was alive. I turned my head and saw her sitting near me. Her eyes were red. She held my hand and whispered, "I am sorry." I looked at her and said slowly, "Lydia, this is what your secrets have done. I gave you my heart, but you broke it piece by piece. I gave you my life, but you pushed me toward death." My voice was weak, but my words were sharp. She cried louder. She said, "I never wanted this. I never wanted to hurt you." I looked into her eyes and answered, "Then why did you? Why did you keep lying? Why did you give me silence instead of truth?" For the first time, she had no excuse. She only cried. She held my hand tighter. She said, "I don't deserve you. You are good to me. But I betrayed you." I closed my eyes and whispered, "I am not asking for perfection. I am only asking for honesty. Love without honesty is nothing but pain. A wife's secrets can destroy even the strongest man." She bent her head on my hand and sobbed. Her tears wet my skin. I felt her pain, but I also felt my own wounds. Later that night, when the room was quiet, I spoke to her again. Lydia, hear me well. If he loved you, he would not ask you to break me. If he cared, he would not keep you in the dark. He is not love. He is a lie. She lifted her head and said in a broken voice, "Why do you still fight for me after all this?" I answered softly, "Because love is not weak. Real love stands even when it is bleeding. I fight for you because I cannot let lies win." She cried again, but this time her tears were different. They were not just tears of guilt. They were tears of awakening. She whispered, "Maybe I was wrong. Maybe my parents were right. Maybe you are the man who truly loves me." I closed my eyes. My body was weak, but my heart felt a small light. For the first time, I thought there was hope. This was the moment when she began to see. This was the moment when the dark secret started to break. Like, subscribe, and share. Click the hype button to hype the video. Give super thanks to support us. Chapter 6. The Third Person. I came home from the hospital, weak in my body, but stronger in my mind. I had seen the truth of Lydia's tears. She was shaken, she was confused, but she was still trapped by David's voice. I knew one day she would meet him again. I prayed she would see what I already knew. A few days later, Lydia left again. She said, "I need to meet someone." I did not stop her. I only said, "Go, but remember what I told you." She looked at me with heavy eyes and walked out. I followed her quietly. I wanted to hear his words with my own ears. I wanted to see if he truly loved her or only used her. When Lydia met David, her face looked torn. She said, "You know he is sick. He was in the hospital because of me." David smiled coldly. He said, "That is not your problem. He will live. You must think of us." Lydia shook her head. She whispered, "But he gives me everything. He stands by me. He still loves me even after I hurt him." David's face turned hard. He said, "Stop talking about him. He is not important. Leave him. Break the marriage." Then we will see her eyes filled with tears. She asked in a weak voice, "Will you marry me if I leave him?" He looked away and laughed. He said, "Don't ask such questions. Just do what I say." My chest burned as I heard those words. That was the truth. He never planned to marry her. He only wanted to take her from me. He wanted to destroy what I had. He wanted to see me broken. Lydia cried harder. She said, "I have waited for you for years. I gave you my heart. I gave you my life. And now you cannot even give me one answer?" David's tone was sharp. He said, "Don't push me. Just listen." I felt fire in my soul. I wanted to step forward and shout, "You never loved her. You only played with her. You never wanted her happiness." But I stayed quiet. I wanted Lydia to see with her own eyes. She begged again, "Please tell me the truth. Do you want me or not?" He sighed and said coldly, "You are asking too much. You are becoming a problem." Her body shook as she heard those words. For the first time, she saw his true face. She looked at him with wide eyes and whispered, "You never wanted me. You only wanted to break me." He did not deny it. He only said, "Go back if you want. But you will come to me again. You cannot leave me." She stepped back in fear. She turned and walked away fast. Tears fell down her face. I followed her quietly and saw her pain. I wanted to hold her, but I waited until we were home. That night, she sat in front of me and cried. She said, "Ethan, I was blind. I thought he loved me, but he never wanted me. He only wanted to take me from you." My heart ached, but I felt a small light. I touched her hand and said softly, "This is what I tried to tell you. Love does not play games. Love does not ask you to lie. Love does not tell you to destroy someone who cares for you." She looked into my eyes for the first time with honesty. She whispered, "Why did I not see it before? Why did I hurt you so much?" I held her hand tighter and said, "Because sometimes love makes us blind. You followed his words, not his actions, but now you see, and now you can choose the truth." Her tears kept falling. She cried, "You were right. My parents were right. You are the man who truly loves me, and I almost lost you." I closed my eyes, and for the first time I felt peace. The storm was not over, but the walls of lies were breaking. She was beginning to return to me. This was the truth of the third person. He was never love. He was only destruction. And at last, Lydia saw it with her own eyes. Like, subscribe and share. Click the hype button to hype the video. Give super thanks to support us. Chapter 7. Tears of Regret. The night after Lydia faced David's truth was heavy with silence. She sat across from me, her face pale, her eyes swollen from tears. I did not speak first. I waited for her. My heart was tired, but I wanted her words. Finally, she broke the silence. She whispered, "Ethan, I have hidden too much from you. I cannot carry it anymore." My chest tightened. I nodded slowly and said, "Then speak. Let every secret out. I would rather live with truth than die with lies." She held her hands together and shook as she spoke. "I loved David for years. I gave him all of me. I thought he was my future. I thought he would protect me, but he never wanted me the way I wanted him." Her voice cracked. Still, I kept waiting. Even when my parents told me to marry you, I could not let him go. I listened in silence. My heart hurt, but I needed every word. She continued, "I spoke to him when you slept. I met him when you trusted me. I told him things I should never have told. And all this time you gave me love, and I gave you betrayal." Her body shook with sobs. She hid her face in her hands. I felt tears in my own eyes. I asked softly, "Why, Lydia? Why did you not stop? Why did you keep feeding the man who wanted to destroy us?" She lifted her face and cried, "Because I was blind. Because I thought he was love. But he was never love. He was selfish. He wanted me only to hurt you, and I let him. I let him use me. I let him make me his weapon. I am ashamed, Ethan. My throat closed. I whispered, "You broke me. You broke my trust. Do you even know how much pain you gave me?" She reached for my hand and begged, "Please forgive me. Please don't turn away. I know I don't deserve you, but I want to change. I want to be your wife in truth, not just in name." I pulled my hand back and looked into her eyes. I said, "Forgiveness is not simple. You tore my soul. You made me doubt myself. You made me cry when no one could see me. How can I forgive easily?" She cried harder. She fell to her knees in front of me. She said, "I am not asking for easy forgiveness. I am asking for one chance. I will prove to you that I can love you the way you love me. Please don't throw me away." My heart broke again, but in a different way. I saw her pain, I saw her guilt, I saw that she was no longer blind. She finally saw the truth. I spoke slowly. "Lydia, I will not lie. I still love you. That is why this hurts so much. If I did not love you, I would have left already. But love is still here, even under all the wounds." Her tears fell onto the floor. She whispered, "Then give me that one chance. I will cut David out of my life. I will never speak to him again. I will give you every truth I have hidden. I will give you my heart, fully and only to you." I looked at her with weak eyes. I said, "If you truly mean this, then prove it. Prove to me that I am not a fool for fighting for you. Prove to me that I am not the only one bleeding for this marriage." She nodded again and again. She said, "I will, Ethan. I will show you." I swear that night I lay awake in bed. Lydia was beside me, crying quietly. For the first time, her tears were not for him. They were for me. They were for us. I whispered into the dark, "Maybe this is the turning point. Maybe this is where her secrets end and our truth begins." But only time would tell if her words were real. Like, subscribe, and share. Click the hype button to hype